Hello garden friend. Today we're going to do a quick tour of the abandoned garden. So this garden here I left alone for a week. I had to travel and I just got back and I've been going around trying to see what's left of the garden. You know, a garden needs her gardener and I was not here. But first, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I think I should just call this my bee garden. Look at all these bees. I count about 10. One just buzzed past my face, but about 10 bees on this plant here. This is the celosia plant. I will put the name up here. It's the Lagos spinach, I think is the name. And the flowers are beautiful. It has this pale pink that goes all the way up to like a purple at the tip. These bees simply adore the plants. Just look at all the bees on here. And behind it I have another celosia plant that has flowers that look like a big old brain. Let me scoot by this way and see if I can show you the flower. So hopefully they don't get stung here. Look at that. The bees want it. Okay, let's tour. So a lot of my plants have been eaten up by bugs. You can see this celosia plant here. I'm not sure what bug this is that makes these big old holes, but has definitely been eaten up. I'm also dealing with a lot of powdery mildew. So see here, this is a zinnia plant. The polar bear zinnia makes these beautiful white flowers, but the leaves are covered in this powdery substance here, and that's all powdery mildew. We are coming to the end of this summer season, so the zinnias will be dying off, so I'm not really doing much to combat the powdery mildew, but I have to make a plan for next year because I do find a lot of my plants were affected by powdery mildew. And part of this tour and walk around in the garden is to figure out what plants I will not be planting next year, what plants I'll be planting more of. For example, these zinnias, that's the polar bear zinnia. But this other one here, the smaller one, did better against the powdery mildew. I have a couple plants. Let me zip over to the front of the garden to show you. These plants, which I have to come water, they look really sad. But this morning they look just fine. I just haven't watered them. Look at them drooping. But they did much better against the powdery mildew than these ones here, the polar bear zinnias, that are completely covered in what looks like snow. This is all powdery mildew. So these plants will start to die off very soon, but they're pretty for now. Now, continuing down, let me show you. I think this tour is going to have a lot of bugs and things eating up the garden. But this here is a black-eyed Susan, and you see these little bugs on the stem? See all of this? These are all aphids. See them moving? So yes, not only does this plant have a lot of powdery mildew, it's covered in aphids. So this will not make it. But like I said, end of the season, not fighting too hard for these summer crops. Chocolate cherry sunflower. Now this sunflower, I know it says chocolate cherry, but it doesn't look very chocolatey to me. It isn't yellow. It is beautiful. It's multi-headed. Not gonna complain. I am going to plant it again next year. This and the teddy bear sunflower, which is this plant over here. Now a lot of the flowers are not as pretty as they were before, but you can see this baby one here. It's so pretty. Unfortunately, most of the flowers decided to face the wall. See? There, so I didn't get to look at them. And I wish they had kind of looked over this way. But it is what it is. It did make a lot of beautiful flowers, and it's also multi-headed, so definitely do this again next year. The bees absolutely love this sunflower, and so do I. Zipping right along, my peppers in bed. I should have fertilized this before I left, so the flowers are, not the flowers, the leaves are just yellowing. I have a lot of peppers I need to pick even though I picked them right before I left, a lot of them have ripened. So I have some serrano peppers here. Most of those in the back there, the lanky peppers, they're just flailing around, are the ají amarillo. I knew they got tall and lanky and big, is why I put them in the back of this bed right here versus putting them in the front here, which would have kind of blocked the sun and it would have just made it harder to get in. So I have shorter peppers here in the front and then the taller ones in the back. This is the gochugaru pepper. These leaves could be way greener. More gochugaru. And I have this for the bees. This is the Siam Queen Thai basil. There you go, there's the bee. And I have blue spice basil here, which I do keep trimmed because it gets to be a really big plant. Here, seriously people, when I say plant this pepper, that's what I mean. Plant, isn't it pretty? Look at all these peppers hiding in here. I picked this a week ago. This is the ají limon, the lemon drop pepper. Get it, people. Now this bed here left a lot to be desired this year, but it is a new bed. This is the first time I planted it. I pretty much planted straight in ground without really amending the soil. So just imagine I'm planting right here where all the grass is. That's pretty much what happened here, because I just put this cardboard box thing down here and dug holes in it and put the plants in. There was only like probably this much soil on top of it that I put, and that soil was not very good. The the bagged soil I bought, it's good name brand, not good soil. It was really bad this year. So hopefully over the winter and fall period I'll be able to build up the soil, put some food scraps in here and build up the soil for next year. So next year I expect much better from this bed. But I do have some bitter melons growing, some tomatoes. This is the Prairie Fire tomato, and I have a lot of eggplants. These are all eggplants growing here. You can see them here. Some of them are ripening. You shouldn't let them ripen, but I was out, so there you go. And then more peppers. This is the ají amarillo, I believe. The squash has been dead for a while. Have I removed it? No, it's just sitting there. And I have more ají limon peppers over there, all sprawled out on the ground. I didn't stake really any of my peppers this year, not by design. I just never got around to it. But I did find most of my peppers, especially those in the container garden there, because I topped them, they did not really fall over. I only have one pepper that fell over. That's a super lanky pepper. What's the name of that pepper? The Macedonian grilling pepper, and that one kind of falls over to the side. But otherwise, the other peppers are kind of holding themselves up, which is cool. Now, of all the things I did in this garden this year, this has to be one of my favorite. I put this zinnia plant, or these zinnia plants, in front of this bed, kind of front and center, and I can't tell you how much joy this brought me. So many flowers, so many butterflies just flitting and fluttering around here, and it just made me so happy. And usually I am one to just plant food, and this year was my year of flowers, and I must say these zinnia flowers, they brought me the most joy. The little butterfly there. I've gotten so much enjoyment from these flowers. So the zinnias, and then I have mostly eggplant and I had some determinate tomatoes here. They're kind of dying off. I do have this roselle, which has performed. Look at all the roselle in here. Could someone tell me to come pick them? I haven't picked anything off of here. Mostly because it's been too hot. Your girl is not a summer girl. I don't like the heat. The only reason I come out in the heat is because I love to garden. But when it gets hot, I tend to abandon my garden because I choose me and I don't like the sun. But look at all the roselle here. It's just, look. Okay, does anyone know what this is? I need to go research. What is this? I mean, it's pretty. I need to put it out in the sun where you can see it. Do you see that? I hope it's showing up on camera. I need to know what this is. If you know what this is, please leave me a comment. It's very interesting looking. Very interesting, but I don't know what it is, so someone help. Anyway, I was trying to show you all the roselle. So if you're looking to plant roselle, I recommend this. This is the North Florida roselle. I think that's what it's called. North Florida roselle. Very productive, early producer, pretty, doesn't require much. It's been in here, everything else seems to be dying around it. Even the okra is like, bye, I'm done. Not doing much anymore, but the roselle is just pumping out these flowers. Look at the flower in here. And then it forms this little, this is so pretty. All right, let me go back this way so I can show you. Oh wait, here. This is how you save okra seeds. These are pods I left on by mistake for too long, and so I was like, oh, I'll just leave it on till it dries out, and then I can save seeds. So inside these pods, I have 3 pods. I have enough okra for years, but inside these pods are seeds. Let me see if I can open this one up for you guys. And you just take a peek in there. You see all those seeds? There you go. Okra for next year. This is the heavy hitter okra. Really good, really productive. Love it. So I've saved seed. It was just as easy as that. This here is, let me turn over this way. This is my purple cayenne pepper. I wanted to have all colors of cayenne here. So I put the purple here, the orange here. See, this is the orange one. This one is ripening, so you can see it's going from green to orange. Isn't that pretty? But this is the purple one, and the leaves are purple. I have 2 different plants here. This one's leaves are more purple. This one has quite a few green leaves, but also purple. But then the peppers start off purple like this, and then they turn red when they're ripe. So I have a lot of ripe peppers here to come pick, and I have more cayennes over there. And this is a Thai pepper. Isn't it cute how it makes all these peppers at the top right there? Yeah, I would just come and harvest the whole bunch. That could work. Anyway, my tomatoes not doing as well as I'd hoped this year because I abandoned them. No fault of theirs. But they're starting to flower again now that the heat is dying down a bit. Today is about 90 degrees, but it's been in the 80s, highs of 80s for about a week or so. So they are starting to flower again. I do have some ripe tomatoes that I need to come pick off of here, and also the little tomatoes here, the little cherry tomatoes. Lots of flowers setting, so I'll still have some tomatoes before the season is over. But next year I will be better with my tomatoes. I did okay with peppers this year, but next year I'm gonna have to do way better with my tomatoes and my watermelons. I didn't get any watermelons this year because I changed the way I plant them. Last year I planted them here on this trellis, and I got quite a few watermelons. But this year I was trying something new, and with my watermelons and my other melons, I put them on these trellises. So this one here had the Kajari melon, and they didn't do so well. See? And swing you over this way, I set up something here with my watermelons, but I don't think they like to lay on the ground here on this plastic tarp thing. So all the it would make watermelons, but then they would die off. So I'm going to have to figure out a different way to grow them next year, because this did not work. And I'm sad because I really liked my harvest of watermelons and melons last year. This here is Pepper Isle. I did a video very recently about Pepper Isle, and I showed all these peppers. I just picked them, but of course there are more peppers ripening. The chocolate bell pepper, I'm going to take this off. It's not all the way ripe, but that's okay. And the datil pepper over here. Okay, fell off. Datil pepper. And this is, ooh, I need to remember your name, because this is like a super hot pepper. I think it's the Thunderbolt pepper. It starts off purple like this and gnarly looking, and then it starts to ripen to a light pink with purple splotches. It's very pretty. Ooh, look, I have garden spiders. You see her? Making a big old web here. There's the big one. I think the big one is the female, and then there are two smaller ones. So I don't know if there's a male or those are the babies. I don't know. But I have 3 spiders in here. This is the Jamaican mushroom pepper. A lot of them are ripe. My goodness, I just picked these. And who are you? I think this is the Shorty Sheardo pepper. My overwintered peppers, the overwintered ají amarillo, and the overwintered red habanero. Chocolate habanero. Still don't have that white habanero I've been waiting on. I see some peppers on there, but nothing that's ripened. And this is the Sugar Rush Stripey. This one is starting to ripen. It is productive. Look at that. Yep. And then this turned out to be one of my favorite peppers. First year planting it, but love it. This is the ají white lightning. And like I said, I just picked these peppers, but there's so many on here to pick already. So it starts off green, so a light green like this, and then it starts to ripen to more of a creamy white, and then wherever it touches the sun, it can turn purple. So pretty and so productive. All right, so if you want to see more peppers, you can go to the video on my container pepper garden tour, and I showed all these peppers there. Now let's look at my green stalk. I am starting to pull things out. I'm making way because I want to plant some more greens and some radishes and stuff like that, but I still have, this needs some water. I still have some Swiss chard in here, a lot of peppers, the variegated Thai pepper, and this is a different Thai pepper on here. So it was mostly peppers, but also greens. I'm going to refill it because for the fall planting, I want to have a lot of greens. I don't remember what this one is. Is this a salad Burnett? I think I took the tag out, so I'm not sure what that one is. But this is the Chichimasai, I think. Let me see. This one has it, yeah. Yeah, this is a Chichimasai. I'm gonna pick some of these eaten leaves and see if I can't keep it going through the winter. I'm gonna walk you over to the flower garden. You'll see how she's doing. So here she is. I've been working out here cutting some of the dead plants out. A lot of the marigolds are dead. I expect next year they will kind of pop up all over because I have a lot of seed pods in here. But then the sweet alyssum is coming back from the dead. See how she's flowering? And the purple basil I just trimmed, so I think she'll come back. Next year I think I'm going to plant more of these strawberry field gomphrenias because they did really well. They held up in the spring and summer, and now we're going to fall and it still looks beautiful. These flowers have been on for months and they still look gorgeous, so I think I'm going to plant more of them. I have the white gomphrenia in a mixed pack, so I think I'm going to make it the space for it bigger next year. Now I planted 2 types of yarrow. The flower burst fruit bowl was the one in here, and the rabbits seem to enjoy that one a lot and they ate it to the ground. And this is the love parade, and this one they didn't seem to eat as much, so maybe I'll get more of this. Also, this one flowered first and flowered much more profusely than the other one, so I think that's going to be the answer for yarrow for me here. I did some zinnia here. This one's doing well. And then a black-eyed Susan vine, which I planted late, granted, but she did flower a bit. when the other plant I had on the trellis died off. And like every gardener I know, I still have things that never made it into the ground. I have some flowers in here, blueberries, lavender, some strawberries. It's a white strawberry, an alpine strawberry. I have 3 plants that made it. I planted them from seed, so proud of myself, but never put them in. So I will be doing that at some point. And I have a random tomato plant that came up there, and I need to move into the garden. Is it gonna make any tomatoes? Probably not, but I do like to watch things grow. That's my lemongrass. I do have a video about lemongrass if you want to check that out. But she's beautiful and ornamental. I'm so glad I put her here. It just marks the beginning of my garden when I come out from the house. That's one of the first things I see. It's big, it's glorious. And then all this is basil. It is starting to die back. The sun was not its friend. My citrus, this is an improved Meyer lemon. As you can see, I need to fertilize her. She's all yellow, but I do have 3 lemons on there, which this is the first time I've ever grown citrus. My zinnia is all covered in powdery mildew, and they are covering a plant in there. I have a kumquat plant in there. I need to cut this back so I can see my citrus plant. And then this one is another kumquat, which I just realized this part here is a watershed. This is not going to grow me kumquats. It's coming from the rootstock, so I need to cut this part back. So it's pretty tall, but you can see the leaves are different. See, it's trifoliate leaves, 1, 2, 3, and it has all these thorns. While the actual kumquat, the leaves are just single there. So I'm gonna come back and cut this one off. And then this one here, I don't remember her name, so let's look. This is the Nippon. Oh, the bees. This is a Nippon, and I just realized it had some fruit setting on it. I don't know if it will stay, but if you look over there, I got fruit in there too. Okay, this bee thinks I'm in the way. It needs to move, but there you go. So the citrus is doing okay. I hope to keep them alive through the winter. I have to make a plan for that. See, I need a lot of plants. A lot of planning. And that's my grapefruit. It's a bloom sweet grapefruit, so it's not a true grapefruit, but that's what I can grow here in the south in zone 8A. So we'll see how it does. Now that you've seen my garden after it has been abandoned, if you'd like to see it in all of its glory, I'll link the video here. So watch it and you can compare and contrast. Until next time, may you always find joy in your garden and your life. See you later, garden friend.